So good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to a new video of Is It That Bad? Where we take a look at an album that maybe got mixed reviews or people didn't like it when it came out, and we listen to it so you don't, and at the end, we give you like a thumbs up, thumbs down, and we say, is it that bad or nah, it's not that bad. So for this video, we're gonna do Pearl Jam because they have a new album coming out, and I put a poll and I put 4 albums. And the album that got the most votes was Riot Act from 2002. This album is their 7th album, and it came out in November 12th, 2002. And it was an album that was inspired a lot by what happened with 9/11 and a lot of people that died in the rock slide concert with Pearl Jam. So it was a very political album at the time. So it got the most votes. So we're gonna hear talk about it. So I'm joined today in the panel. I'm joined by, obviously, you all guys know JC Rock and Metal Reviews. He's been collaborating with me now for 2 years. JC,
Hey,
how are you?
doing good, thanks.
And we have for the second time on Is It That Bad? Señorita Sabrosura.
No, my first time.
No, you did Deftones.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You did. We did an episode for Saturday Night Wrist. And it was
Yeah,
for
it was,
Is It
yeah.
That Bad? Yeah.
Oh,
See?
I thought that was an anniversary. I didn't
No,
remember.
it was an episode of Is It That Bad? And
Oh,
you were there.
an anniversary. I forgot.
So
I'm
see?
sorry.
So this is Señorita Sabrosura.
Okay. Well, for me, it was like the first time because I had in my mind that that was like so long ago.
Nobody told her that was an Is It That Bad episode. So, so she's on this one. And we have Eggy, who you've seen on the channel. He's been on a few videos with me, and I invited Eggy because he, in Puerto Rico, he actually plays in a Pearl Jam tribute band. So Eggy, how are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Thank you for inviting me. I am excited to see what's going to happen here tonight.
Yeah, so yeah, you know the drill, people. We have the 3 rounds. The first round we talk about our first impressions. The second round we pick 2 or 3 songs that we think are the worst, and then the third round we give our final ratings and our vote, and we say if it isn't that bad or it isn't that bad. So we're gonna start with JC because JC, basically at this he's a veteran of this. So JC, your initial thoughts with this one.
This one came out in 2002. I didn't get it when it first came out. I guess I wasn't really paying attention to the band. I was probably more into like the new metal stuff. But I listened to it later on, I guess when, streaming became more popular. And it's one of those albums that I never paid much attention to. I think there were like a couple singles, I think the one I remember, I think it was I Am Mine or Save You. And I Am Mine, I think those were the ones that I remember, but I think it's just one of those albums that like Pearl Jam was, out of all the grunge bands, like they were like the only ones that basically survived and kept putting out albums over the years. So I kind of stopped paying attention to them. But I listened to it back then, and then I listened to it again just to get ready for this. And I think it's not too bad. I'll give my final judgment at the end, but it's one of those albums that is kind of just. I think the problem, it's kind of like raw. It has that kind of like raw production where like sometimes Eddie Vedder's vocals sound very low. It kind of has like that kind of garage rock or that type of sound. And I think the songs are like not bad, but like nothing is like great. But I'll talk more about that in the next few rounds. So
Yeah,
that's all. Yeah.
that's a good first impression. What about you, Señorita Sabrosura?
Well, like JC said, this album came in 2002, And I didn't get it. I didn't listen to it when it came out because in 2002 I was getting into more like the indie music. That's when the Interpol debut album came out, and a few other albums, Flaming Lips, Interpol, Wilco. So I was getting more into the indie scene, and I didn't listen to this until years later. Uh, and I went and this and someone told me, oh, that's one of their weakest albums, and I was like, okay, this was so I went with low expectations, um and I was like, is this supposed to be weak? Okay, I'll talk more about that later.
Okay, yeah. So what about you, Mr. Puerto Rican Pearl Jam Eggy?
Um, um, when this album came out, I was more into the metal stuff. I was listening more into more metal and things like that. I remember the single, the I Am Mine. I remember the single, and I first listened to this album like as a whole when I started to do my tribute, my Pearl tribute. That's when I like really like listened to it from top to bottom, and I remember that it wasn't like my favorite one, but it wasn't as bad as people like thought it was, you know. Um, I think it has like a couple of great songs there, and it's different because like every time Pearl Jam experiments with their music like in almost every album, and this is not an exception. So I don't know. I think like I'll talk more about it later.
Yeah, I'm curious.
In
In the tribute, have you played songs from this album?
um Actually, no.
Ah,
Actually, no. But I really like Save You. So maybe someday I'll do Save You because I like that song. But we really don't have any songs of this album.
yeah. Well, you need to include it in the tribute, man.
but but it's curious that he doesn't have any songs, and when I saw Pearl Jam, like they didn't play any song from this album.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
Pearl Jam back in 2000, so they didn't play anything from this album because it didn't existed yet. So
No, but I saw them last.
That's the thing. They
yeah.
don't even play songs from this album like live.
Okay, so that leaves me. So my first impression. So when this came out, I was really into pirating music. I was really cheap, so I wasn't buying anything. I had my cousin burn stuff on my CDs and stuff, and at that moment, I think I was more into getting into harder stuff. And the last I had a love-hate relationship with Pearl Jam because this is the timeline 1998. My girlfriend at the time gives me Yield February 14. Then she dumps me. So that's when my love-hate relationship with Pearl Jam started. Then came 2000 and Binaural came and I had another girlfriend and I had broken up, and that came, and that was a very depressing album. She didn't buy it for me, but see, I remember that. And then when Riot Act came, I was just like, like I was over Pearl Jam at that time. So I did remember listening to some songs, but like JC said, I just didn't pay enough attention to it. So it just like went by, and I think I remember the first thing I listened to it, I remember like Bush Leaguer because it was like very controversial because it was a song about Bush and obviously everything that happened out after 9/11. So it was a song that I think, I don't know if I saw a video of them playing it live and he came out with a Bush mask and they got booed. So yeah, that I think that's a divisive thing about this album. Maybe when it came out and why it has some political things to it, but I mostly slept on it when it came out. I came back around into Pearl Jam with the Avocado album in 2006. That one like won me back again into the band. So those were my first impressions. So we're going into round two where we gonna pick a few tracks. So JC, what tracks would you pick from this album that you think are the weakest?
I'll go with "You Are." I think it was just very different. They're using like different guitar effects, delay, wah-wah effects. There's some like psychedelic sounds, more electronics. I think it was kind of strange, but I don't know. I guess I didn't like it. I mean, I don't hate it, but I mean, it's probably one of the weaker ones. Then I'll go with Green Disease. This sounds more like post-punk. Another one that was a little weird, kind of had a driving beat. And the lyrics, they have those political lyrics about capitalism and greed. So that was one of the weaker ones. Again, I don't hate it. It's not like bad, but it's one of the weaker ones. I think for me, the one that I thought was like the weirdest is going to be my third pick, called Bush Leaguer. And this is a song about George Bush. It's just that when Eddie Vedder like does the lyrics, he's speaking it, and he sounds like Jim Morrison from that American Prayer album, where like he's like reciting his poetry. That's what it reminds me of. So that's why I thought it was kind of weird. But I know it's just one of those political songs that's about George Bush. But otherwise, that's it. That's my three. Yeah.
Okay. Solid picks, JC. So what about you, Mary? I know you're usually like, no, I don't want to talk about bad negative about albums, but that's what we do. We reviewers critique.
Well, I don't think there's like any like really bad song, but listening today again and revisiting this over the weekend, my least favorite could be "Help Help." Like, I don't know. Maybe the way he sings that help me, like, it's one of my least favorite. And the other two, and maybe it's because they're too political. I agree with JC. It's Bush Leaguer and Green Disease. Like, yeah, they're strange for me, and they're too political. Like, I like more the melancholic or the rock songs from Pearl Jam.
Okay, yeah, nice. See, you could pick three out of that. So so far we're picking mostly the same song. So I wonder, like, what would Eggy pick?
Oh, I picked one different from JC, but the other two were the same.
Oh yeah, the help. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm a little bit like um torn because I don't like to talk like I don't find like this album is as bad as people think, so it's very hard for me like to pick song like bad songs. But I agree with Bush Leaguer. Um, it's just that it's a very weird song. um, I like the thing that is it's political, etc. But I don't I don't like it as much as other songs. And also the help like Mary said, it's like meh in a way. But man, it's really hard for me to pick like bad songs from Pearl Jam.
Weaker songs.
Yeah, yeah, weaker songs.
Well,
Yeah,
I wouldn't say not even weaker, least favorite
yeah.
from the album.
It's just that I think like everything they do it with a purpose, you know, like in every like album that they that they got out, like they have a purpose with every song, with every title, with everything, like you know, and I know like a lot of people like love more the first three albums, but I think like there's a lot of hidden gems in albums like this one, like Riot Act, and for me it's very hard to pick like bad songs. But if weaker songs. But if I had to choose two at least, well, I would go with Bush Leaguer and I would go with Help Help, like Mary said. I think those are like my least favorites from this album. And maybe the first one, Can't Keep. It's just like um
Wow.
I'm
That's
surprised. I thought that was a
favorite.
yeah, I thought that was a good one.
it's just that I am like every time for how do I say it? Okay, like Pearl Jam, every time they choose like an album, almost like in every album the first song is faster or like I don't know, it's like it's more grungy, and in this case it's a little bit like slower, you know, Kinky is slower, so
Yeah,
maybe that's why I don't like it as much
yeah,
as an opener,
okay.
you
Solid. So I think that leaves me. So yeah, I agree with Bush Leaguer. I just think it's a strange song, and I don't know. He sounds like he's drunk in a bar somewhere, just saying shit about George Bush. It's not that I have no feelings toward him, but yeah, it's a song that yeah, and it was. I think the music was done for this one by Gossard. And the lyrics were Gossard and better. So yeah, it's okay. And I know there's no, none of you mentioned this, but Arc is a 1 minute and 5 seconds of Eddie
Yeah.
Vedder doing noises. What is
know.
the purpose of that song?
I was going to mention that, but I didn't because it was just like an
Yeah,
intro track. But they could have gotten rid of that.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it's almost like
it's a total
yeah.
throwaway. It's like he's yodeling for the other song. So I thought to me that was a waste of time. A song that I think the title is corny as hell is Love Boat Captain, but actually the song
It's a good song.
yeah, it's an okay track, but I would agree. I would go with Green Disease too, because I think it's kind of like of the weaker tracks. And I like Can't Keep, but I would have started this album with Save You. I
Yeah.
think that one had like a more of an upbeat like album starting like a song. But you mentioned the Bush Leaguer weird songs in Vitology, man. He had a song about boxing in his bedroom.
That's a really bad song. I can say that
No,
Bugs is
but Vitology is another one of those albums that's like really good, but has a few like bad
Mm.
songs in there.
Yeah, like that Bugs track.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can't listen to that Bugs track. I skipped that, but I
Yeah.
mean I like the other songs. Yeah.
yeah, to me, Bugs, I think that could be that's the worst Pearl Jam song ever, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I agree. I agree.
Not even at least Bush Leaguer, it makes more sense that I got
Yeah.
bugs in my bedroom. So yeah, we talked about tracks. Now we're gonna give our final thoughts and rating, and both if it's that bad or not. So JC, your final thoughts and rating on this one.
Okay, I mean I'll give it thumbs up. I think it's good in general. I think if I was going to rank the albums, and which I probably will eventually, it would probably be like in the lower half. But I think there's some good stuff here. Like, for example, the "Save You," I really like that song. Reminds me of like "State of Love and Trust," like that really those like upbeat like Pearl Jam songs from like the early '90s. "Love Boat Captain." It's a pretty good song. I mean, I think it has an important meaning behind it. They're paying tribute to like what happened. These people at the concert, they died because like this crowd like all rushed the stage or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other songs, I don't really hate them. I don't love them. I'm kind of they're okay. I can listen to this album. It's a mix. There's like there's a lot of ballads on here. There's This isn't like a heavy album. Like it's more they have a lot more like softer songs. I think like the
Like a
heaviest
folky
song would
album,
be
yeah.
in general. I'm saying the heaviest song would be like "Save You," but there's some good stuff here. I mean, I like Thumbing My Way. That one reminded me of like the Rolling Stones, like Wild Horses. I like that one. And Half Full, that was pretty good. It kind of had like this blues jam type of sound. So I would say not one of their best albums, but I think it's good enough to listen to again, and I think it's decent, and I give it a thumbs up. So yeah.
Good. Nice, JC. So we got our first thumbs up. So, señorita, your final thoughts and verdict on this one.
Well, when they told me this was supposed to be their weakest albums, I didn't find it to be the weakest. Maybe I had like some least favorite songs, but I enjoy it. And I always thought this would be a great album to see live because it has like more that garage sound that JC was talking about. But when I saw them, they didn't play not even one song from this album. They played from other albums, but not this one. Um, and I enjoy it. Like JC said, like "Tell Me My Way Back." It's one of my favorite. Can't Keep. I understand. Maybe it shouldn't be the opener, but I like it. I love when Eddie Vedder uses the ukulele. I even bought his ukulele album. So for me, it's a thumbs up.
Nice. Two thumbs up. So, Eggy, your final thoughts and rating?
Well, I'll give it a thumbs up as well. So,
Of course, you're afraid Eddie Vedder will email you. Like, how dare you pay tribute to us?
and it's my favorite band, and really like I have learned like doing the tribute. I have learned a lot from the way they write songs, the way, like I said, like everything they do has a purpose. And that's something that I learned doing the tribute. Um, I think that this, like JC and Mary said, like this is not their best work. It's like I would give it like a 7 out of 10, like as a whole. But it's not as bad as people say. Like I see a lot of people like bashing on this album on the internet, and I don't think it's that bad, man. Love Boat Captain is a beautiful song. I think it has like great lyrics. Um, Save You is a beautiful song. If you read the lyrics, it's some like very like deep, man. Like it's a song that you can like it's something that you would say to a friend that is coming that is going through a lot, you know. And I think that those songs matter, you know. And what else? I like Green Disease. I like Green Disease. It's just that it's rocky, you know. It's like
I like the music. It's more post punk, but the lyrics didn't get me a lot. But I like the music of that song.
and I think it's a good album. It's obviously it's not their like their 10 or their versus album like or their vitality, but I think it's a good album. If I were like in a program scale, I would put it like second to bottom, maybe. I guess like I don't.
Okay. So you know what you should do, man? The next time you play the tribute, just play that whole album. And if people say, play Jeremy, you'll say like, fuck you, no, we're playing Riot Act from beginning to end for its whatever anniversary. You need to commit to this, Eggy.
I would love to do that just to annoy some people.
just to annoy some people. So that leaves me. So I'm gonna get out of the way. It's thumbs up. You know, I don't think this is a bad. Like I think I slept on this album at the time, but the hate that it got, I think there's more. I actually like this one, I think, better than Binaural. Binaural puts me to sleep. uh, it's not a bad album, but it's like it's. I think it puts me to sleep, and I thought I was surprised that it one got the most votes, but I think it's better because of the political nature. That some people
Yeah.
at that time were pissed with Pearl Jam because of that, but they always done stuff.
Yeah. Mhm.
You know, when they did the battle against Ticketmaster, and you know what hurts now that their current tour is with Ticketmaster.
Yep, and it's super expensive.
Yeah.
So all that fighting for nothing. For,
Yep.
so I'm glad I caught them back in the day. But obviously, we talked about them because they have a new album coming out, and I thought Gigaton was gonna win at some time because a lot of people say it's their worst album. But to me, honestly, I don't think Pearl Jam has an album that I would say is completely bad, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think there's always some good stuff. Obviously, the first albums for me, to me, their top albums would be, if I had to rank them 10, uh, then I would go with Versus and Vitology and Yield. I don't know. I think sometimes I think Yield, they're almost neck and neck, and then the Avocado album.
Do
And
you
I know
know?
their fourth
For,
album gets a lot of flack too. So
for me, I think like a very underrated album from Pearl Jam is Backspacer. I think
oh, I
Backspacer.
love
Yeah, I like Backspacer. Yeah.
I love that album. Backspacer was a great album. The Fixer
Yeah.
is a great song.
Mhm.
So we want to know from you people, what do you think this album is that bad? If you think it's that bad, why? Let us know because 4 people here voted that is not that bad. We're actually saving Riot Act. So coming up next for the channel, I don't know what I'm doing next, but we'll have some more Is It That Bad coming. I might take a little break in March for for so you can miss us a little bit, but I'm thinking at some point we'll do a Linkin Park album. I think we're gonna do the last one that they did with Chester, because that's a good album to discuss, but obviously respectful to what happened with Chester. But yeah, we comment what other albums would you like us to cover, and please subscribe to my guest channel, JC Rock and Metal Reviews. He does album reviews, rankings, and he gives you history, man. So so you can get the history of bands. So I also have done collaboration videos on his channel. So check out his channel and subscribe. Señorita Sabrosura is getting more. She's gonna put more content now. So subscribe to her channel. She talks a lot about like rock in Spanish, but she also talks about more indie. And I also she does collaborations with me all the time. And Eggy, well, he has some bands. He's gonna put out. I know he has a few new. You have a new single that's coming out, right, man?
Yeah. I have a new single that's coming out February 29th.
So
Nice.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, once this video airs, it'll be before February 29th. So you can it's in Spanish, right, man?
It's another mix.
It's
I,
a
I mix Spanish with it has like a verse in English.
Oh, interesting. And I'm not putting out an album anytime soon because I think I would have to cover myself. I would I would have to cover myself, say like, yeah, it's that bad, man. But I have more interviews on the way and more album reviews and more Is It That Bad for the future. So if you haven't done so, subscribe to me. And until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and we'll see you on the next episode of Is It That Bad. Thank you and goodbye.